Mhm.
I don't remember.
Now it is. There we go. Now everyone can hear us in the background.
Are we streaming our Discord audio right now?
We are streaming our Discord audio right now.
Oh, okay.
We are now. I just changed it from spooky music because there was an ad.
Oh, okay.
So this is the like pre-show.
The pre-show.
Chris, tell us your best ghost related joke. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh fuck. Let me think.
That's not okay.
Oh, why do ghosts hate the rain?
I don't know, Chris. Why do ghosts hate the rain?
It dampens their spirits.
Oh my god.
That was good. I like that. Abby, do you got
What?
one?
No, I'll have to think of one.
It's okay. We'll come back.
What? I got a little bit of a topical one. What position does a ghost play in soccer?
I don't know, Chris. What position?
Ghoul-keeper.
I need the sound effect that's like the bum bum ba wow.
No.
I need it queued up. Oh man, Abby, you're being real quiet over there.
I'm trying to log into Twitch.
Let's see. Is this gonna? I feel like this is gonna be less of a talk on Poasttown, and oh god, we should have called it Roast Town because it was real boring. We're gonna roast it. Just kidding.
That was almost as bad of a joke as what I
A
just said.
goalkeeper?
As a goalkeeper.
Listen, we're currently dads in training. All right, we're prepping for our 30s to come around.
What room in a ghost house is the most unnecessary?
I don't know.
A living room.
Love it.
Oh my god. to all the like 6 people watching right now, they're just getting the stream starting screen and then us just telling really bad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna put us over.
Kind of a street do ghosts prefer to live on?
What street?
A dead end.
Ooh. We're live. Hello, people.
Hello.
Hi.
Abby, are you okay?
Hello.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just making sure you can hear and talk.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. It's been a long time. What, 2-3 weeks?
Yes.
Right around there.
I think, what else happened since then? Let's see. We've had the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
We've had football.
The football.
The football. We've booked our next spooky adventure. Lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I am quite surprised I got this background to fit as well as I did.
Right? It looks good.
It does. It really does.
So, hey gang, sorry we've been away, but holidays and all that good stuff. But we're back, and we got a lot to talk about. Kind of.
Do we?
I mean, we could talk a lot. To be fair.
True.
But a couple of things. We now have a Twitch channel. So if you would rather watch us on Twitch, you can find us at Spencer County Spooky Squad over on twitch.tv, which is cool. We have updated our link tree. We also have some ideas for what we're going to do with Ko-fi, as far as like maybe some tiers, which is kind of neat. So lots going on. Lots going down.
And at some point this week we'll have a Facebook, so look out for that.
Yep. So if
We don't already have Facebook.
we don't,
Nope.
we're bad social media people. We don't have a Twitter either.
I did notice that.
We'll
that
not
we
do
did.
Twitter.
We don't have a Twitter, but we have a TikTok, so we're hip with the kids.
That's good.
Which I believe we're going to start being more active on this week. Not like we've advertised it recently anyway. But
Speaking of being hit with the kids, what happened to a man who didn't pay his exorcist?
I don't know, Chris. What happened to that man?
His house was repossessed.
Love it.
Spencer County Spooky Squad only provides the most relevant of content on
Yes.
What's hap? Oh, that was never mind. That was you. I thought we got an actual chat on Twitch, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, that was me.
That's okay. Oh man. So, if you've missed last week, we covered, or not last week, but the last live stream, we covered the Ross Opera House of Cynthiana, Kentucky, which was a fun experience, fun little town. You can watch that video on YouTube. There will if you're watching this in the future, there will most likely be a little annotation appearing in the top left-hand corner or top right-hand corner, where you can just click on that and go and watch that. This week we're going to be talking about our first official investigation as the Spencer County Spooky Squad. Located in... I don't have notes. So take a moment.
Is it not Poasttown?
No, it's Middletown, Ohio.
Oh.
And it is the old Poasttown Elementary School, also known as Poasttown Elementary, made famous by a handful of paranormal teams that have investigated this large building, which, I just kind of assumed that schools were always, like, big, but this one felt like abnormally big for as small of a place that it was, which I guess... Oh, snap.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Snap?
Yes, oh, snap.
I don't know what that... Where did that music come from?
Where did what music come from?
You might hear it in a minute. It came out of nowhere.
Oh. We have a follower. That's what happened.
Oh!
Oh, okay.
But the animation bugged out.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah. Thank you, me, for following the channel.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Banana.
I was like, I don't know where that sound is coming from. But Poasttown Elementary, fun little place. Ran and operated by a wonderful dude, a really nice guy by the name of Daryl Wiseman. He and his wife currently occupy the building as their home, and this is all public information that's on their website, so it's not like we're being jerks.
Filling out the private deets.
Yeah.
This building, they have updated their website since we last went, so that's cool. But
have they really?
They have. It is a little more modern. But the tagline for Poasttown Elementary is, "When you leave, you will believe."
Not about that.
Believe in what is, I guess, the real question, right?
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. First, the history. So, Poasttown Elementary was built in... 1937 is when the school opened. But before there was a school there, The actual land itself was had a lot going on. Back in the 1800s, in 1891, there was a fatal train accident because there were train tracks that ran behind the building. It was employees of National Cash Register were on their way back up to Dayton from a company picnic. Passenger train collided with a freight train. Caused 4 deaths and 50 injuries. The site where the school is located was the triage station, where most of the people who I think it was 2 died on impact, and then 2 died later as a result of their injuries at the triage station. And then on July 4th of 1910, which that might have made for, in hindsight, that might have made for a good holiday episode.
It might have.
Oh, Lord.
On July 4th of 1910, there was a second train accident when the engineer of a Big 4 passenger train ran off schedule and after a detour caused mass chaos when a second train full of freight saw the original train before it was too late. All passengers in the 2 cars closest to the engine either died or were seriously injured. 19 deaths were at the scene of the accident and countless others were hurt. So 19 people died on site at Poasttown. In the end, after all of this was said and done, there was a total of 36 deaths that came across as a result of this train accident. On top of that, in 1913, Butler County was the scene of a massive destructive flood that took 6 people's lives, as well as tore down most of the outside areas of Middletown.
Now, am I mistaken in thinking, isn't like flooding and that sort of thing like a conduit for like paranormal activity, or am I just like my brain making things up?
Flooding and water in general, I believe.
Yeah, like water and limestone.
Are all like conductors.
Yeah, and like with Kentucky, there's a lot of basically underground limestone that filters out water, so it's a hotbed for spooky stuff.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I believe when we were there, Daryl told us that the whole building sits on top of a large limestone deposit, if I recall, when we were there. Which I guess, like you said, Haley, most of Kentucky is. I would imagine most of the Midwest is just filled with limestone.
And ghosts.
And ghosts. But yeah, so that's basically there were actually when the school was in operation, which it closed. It ran from 1937 to the year 2000, so it was here for a long time. But no actual deaths happened in the school. There's no documentation of it, but a lot of people have like accounts of remembering it happening when they went to school there. But there was a girl who was pushed off the uppermost set of stairs and fell to the bottom. She did not die on the premises, but instead passed away at the hospital. Again, there's no record of this like actually ever occurring, but apparently a lot of people who went to school there actually remember it happening. So
what if there was a cover-up?
I mean,
yeah, think about it.
Maybe.
Can you
kid of a wealthy, prominent citizen in the town. You know, his kid pushes a girl off a railing because he's a big bully.
I mean, crazier things have happened, I would say. It is a small town, so small towns tend to, have their fair share of secrets that they don't like to get out very often. Skeletons in the closet. And in this case, there was a literal skeleton in a closet, but it was not a skeleton in the traditional sense, but instead a terrifying, tiny, mechanical structure skeleton.
Gave me a heart attack.
I'm not sure what it was.
Gave us all a heart attack. But,
This has been Chris's Conspiracy Corner. Hello.
Hello.
I need to get a little graphic made.
A little banner.
Yeah, a little banner. Chris's Conspiracy Corner. I need like a sound effects. I need like a little sound effects
I'm
board
on
too.
it.
And you can do the banner just around my little stream.
Yep.
Right. Does anybody have anything else they want to? I don't think it covers the history of Poasttown. And did I leave out anything that you guys could think of?
No. That pretty much hits it.
As far as the history goes, I mean, the other thing on that the website, like the more recent history, is the owners of it, Daryl and his wife. They bought it because they went to school there, and then they realized that it maybe bit off a little bit more than they could chew. Which I think now is why the whole, like why they've opened up for the haunting and the paranormal investigations and tours and the other things they can do. Because, you know, it turns out it's pretty expensive to heat a school.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think what it was. Did he mention a price on their electric bills and stuff?
I think the newspaper article we read did, but I don't remember what that was.
Yeah, it was like something insane, like $7,000 or something, because it is a massive building with 3 floors
Yeah,
and
I think
tons of little spaces. That I mean, obviously it's an older school, so it's not going to be insulated well. So,
for some reason the number 30,000, like an electric bill, comes to my mind, but I don't know if that's accurate.
That's
Don't
what I
quote
was
me on that.
thinking. So
Mhm.
maybe that was it.
maybe it was.
Citation required.
Let's see. We'll dive into the tiny bit of actual evidence we got in our overall experience. So when we went on a. Technically, it was a public event, but there was only 15 people, and actually, I think it ended up being less than that. I think it was like 13 people.
Like right around in there.
Yeah, 13 people, and so I guess 15 people total because you include the 2 investigators that we went with. But they were with, is it Dayton Haunted Explorers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dayton Haunted Explorers. We went with them, and they had like a little event there. And so we spent most of the night by ourselves, but we spent the first couple hours with each of them. Half of us went with one of the members, and the others went with another one, and then we flip-flopped halfway through. Some famous areas of this building. If you haven't seen the thumbnail on YouTube, this building has what's called the doll room, which is the most infamous part of the building. I say infamous because it's the one thing everyone seems to talk about whenever they like post stuff on social media or even on national television when other like Ghost Brothers came here, right? So
Yeah, because you see, as it turns out, if you put I don't know, 100 dolls in a children's room, it's creepy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
If you turn off the
creepy,
lights, yeah, it's creepy.
side note, I looked up the heating bill, the first one they ever got. From Cincinnati.com. It's an article they did on the school when they first moved in. And it says they quickly realized that living in a school is not like living in a normal home. The Wisemans found this out quickly when they first received their heating bill. It was a total of $33,000.
Jesus Christ.
Oof.
I would shit.
Yes.
yeah, I don't.
Yes.
And so, unfortunately, it's kind of a sad story because they bought the school with the intention of fixing it back up and kind of restoring it and making it like a historical place because it was a big part of Middletown for a long time. Tons of people went to school there. Daryl went to school there, like you said earlier, Chris. And so, because they bit off more than they could chew, they just kind of had to. They had somebody come in and basically acted as a private. I don't know what you would call it, basically a loan shark, for lack of a better word, and buy the property and allow them to stay there to pay off the debt, basically, until they could, pay for it again.
Yeah.
So now they're living on site. Daryl has had numerous stories. A bunch of people have had stories, like, of, obviously, in a school you have, like, children laughing, you have, lockers and stuff being slammed, you have, when we were there, they had a bunch of stuff written in little, like, composition notebooks of things that had happened, and things of that nature. And apparently, if I'm looking at this thing correctly, there's even physical evidence, it looks like, of something that attacked Daryl.
Oh.
I don't know when this was, but it's on their website. That's new.
I say that must be new because I don't remember any mention of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember that either. But yeah, that kind of stuff. But yeah, Chris, it turns out when you put $100, I would argue there's probably more than 100.
Yeah.
I would say
And it's
so.
like not just dolls, creepy fucking dolls.
Like the little tiny porcelain antique ones that are like
Yeah.
in between every single doll, like tucked in to
Yeah.
where you can't even see them unless you like actually look for them. It's terrifying.
Mhm.
Everywhere you look, there's a face.
Like busted
And-
dolls
Yeah.
without heads.
Yeah.
Definitely a very I mean, I hate dolls. I hate them.
Mhm.
I don't think you could put me in that room by myself for extended periods of time. At least
Didn't
not
we-
in complete darkness.
So didn't we do it by ourselves? No, we didn't. We
No.
didn't do it by ourselves in that one.
No.
We did the scary teacher room.
We did do the scary teacher room. This is also the first place that we started to kind of utilize this wonderful...
Oh gosh.
We have to talk about it.
I don't know.
Chris, would you like to talk about this wonderful piece of equipment?
Yeah, so he's just holding his phone right now and not really
Equipment.
going more. So it is, in fact, his cell phone. But while we were there, the investigators led us to the investigators we did like the little tour with showed us this app you can get. It's a free app. There's advertisements, but it's supposed to use like the sensors in the phone to pick up words that the ghosts might be trying to convey, and it'll come on the screen and there'll be a little sound effect. They just swore by it, or another version of it that the lady was using on her laptop, which was awful to listen to in a recording.
Yeah.
But they swore by it. We've kind of used it. It's like interesting because I don't know that it does anything, but there's just enough like coincidences that it keeps it interesting.
Mhm.
And it's also a good, like, when you're sitting in a room and you're asking the air questions, there comes a point where you're just like, well, what else do I ask this brick wall? And it gives you like little prompts that you can use to ask about. Even, I don't know that it is anything, but it helps asking questions at the very least.
Mm-hmm. It's been really weird the past places that we've used it too, because sometimes it's like oddly like close or like weirdly relevant, and then other times it's just like, what are you even saying to me right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
And
like, oh, go ahead.
We did have an incident here in Poasttown that sort of, I think that app might have died had this incident not happened in our usage in the principal's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. And Abby, if you want to talk about that, you can. If not, it's totally cool.
Yeah, I don't mind. So we decided to do very quick, like individual sessions in the principal's office, what used to be the principal's office for the school. And I did mine with Tom. So we were together. and he had the app on his phone. And when we walked into the room, he wanted to be unbiased towards anything that the app may say. So immediately he made sure it was on and turned his phone face down onto the desk. So, um, a little backstory before I say what actually happened. Um, when I was a sophomore in high school, my father passed away from colon cancer. And the morning that that happened, I was called to the principal's office, where they took me to my previous elementary school to meet my younger sister. And they told us that my father had passed away there in the principal's office. And I was a teacher's pet during school. I was never called to the principal's office. That had been the first and only time that that had happened to me. So, Tom and I are sitting in the principal's office at Poasttown, and we're just asking any question that we normally would. Like, is anyone here with us? Can you try to make contact with us? Can you show us if you're here? Give us proof that you're here. And um, a few minutes had passed, and we decided to leave and join with the group. And when we did, Tom looked at the app to see if anything had happened when we were in there. And the first word the app had said as soon as we got into the room was cancer. So I personally do not put much faith in this app in particular. Um, Potentially maybe other devices like it, but with it being a free phone app and having ads, I don't put too much faith into it. However, that one instance is completely unexplainable to me. Um, it could be pure coincidence, but the personal connection I have with that, with it being in a principal's office and with that word being stated, and that was the only conversation I had ever had in a principal's office personally, when I was in high school. Like, it's a little too close to be potentially a coincidence for me. I don't know how the rest of the group really feels about that. I really don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, that was a very strange incident that had happened that night.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with Chris. I feel like if that hadn't have happened, we probably would have just uninstalled it and never used it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I mean, I have no explanation for that. And like I said, it could be a pure coincidence that it said that word, but none of us had talked about anything of this sort that night. We had not mentioned that word. We had not, Chris and Haley actually didn't even know that personal thing about me.
I didn't find out until like a week or two prior.
Yeah, like that's um like such a personal thing for me. I mean, it doesn't come up in conversation, so not even Tom knew about it, like in depth anyway, um, until like a week before we went to Poasttown. So the fact that like it was in the same setting, the same word had came up, and we had not previously talked about that situation, it's just all together. So that was interesting. It was very nerve-wracking. I was a little shaken after that. So, oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and personally, while I've been using the app, it hasn't used the word cancer at all.
Yeah.
I
So-
think that's the only time we've got that word like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If by the way, if you're watching this on Twitch and you have any suggestions or you have any questions, if you have questions or anything or suggestions, you can toss them in the chat. Same if you're on YouTube. But on Twitch, we have a little suggestion box, and that'll go directly to us. So if you have like any places you want us to go, any suggestions for content, subjects to talk about on the Spooky Show, because Lord knows that there's not like. Unfortunately, we don't do this as a career, so we don't go to places every single weekend. But you know, if you have something that you want us to talk, about, then just let us know. But yeah, evidence for Poasttown. So we had that incident. I guess we could go back to, since we're talking all about the app. The only other incident that we had that was weird, and this is not as, I don't think, as impactful as Abby's story. But there's a room in the school called the Bad Teachers Room, which is where we all decided to do our solos the first time before we went down to the principal's office. This room is supposed to be like one of the most active rooms in the school. Each of us spent, I think it was 2 minutes or 3 minutes in there.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. By ourselves. Abby and Haley did theirs together, and then Chris and me did our solo. And when we were in there, there's a little book, and like I mentioned earlier, it's a little composition notebook where people like write down things that have happened in those rooms and stuff like that. Well, when we all went in there as a group, Haley and Abby started reading the book. And I don't remember his name, but they had mentioned spirits of kids, and then they had mentioned one male spirit that was supposedly keeping the kids there. And this spirit in that room does not like when people are sitting in the teacher's chair or sitting in the front of the classroom. That's one of the more famous stories there. So when we did our solos, I thought, I'm going to go stand up in the front of the room. Yeah, why not? It's the best way to get something to happen. Sure. So I'm standing in there, and I'm a tall guy. I know I'm sitting here in a chair and you can't really see, but I'm 6'6". So I'm standing in the front of the room asking questions, and I'm using the app to kind of navigate questions. And I just asked if anybody was here with me and stuff like that, and I got too high up on the app. Well, if these are kids and I'm a 6'6" dude, I thought, oh, okay, maybe I'll go ahead and sit down. I said, okay, I'll go sit here in the chair. So I went towards the teacher's chair, and as I was getting ready to sit down in the teacher's chair, I got on the app, don't move. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then we also had a camera set up that we were using to take pictures. This little guy right here. And we had that standing on a tripod in the corner of the room, and I got camera on the app. So I said, oh, you want me to go take your picture? And so I walked over to the camera, and I got stop as I was walking over to the camera. And by that time, my 2 minutes was up, and everybody was coming back, and I'm like, hey, this is real weird. Again, I don't know if it's relevant at all, but it is at least a neat little thing. And I don't know, like everybody's saying, I don't know if I trust it or not, but it's at least, like you said, Chris, a good way to guide a conversation when you're talking to yourself in an empty room.
Yeah.
Especially at 4 a.m. when you're exhausted. It's a thing to think about.
Because as it turns out, it's hard to think of questions to ask a brick wall at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm just going to practice that from now on. I'm going to turn all the lights out, and I'm going to go upstairs.
In the basement.
I'll go outside and talk to because that's the brick wall, so I'll go talk to the wall outside and be like, hey, how you doing?
Your neighbors will love that.
How many of you are here?
Maybe.
Keeping the housing costs low.
Yeah.
You are relatively new to the neighborhood. Please do not do this.
Between
Do it in the house.
If mowing the grass at 6 a.m. didn't get them, this for sure will.
Oh, God.
Gotta put it together.
Mm-hmm.
Just scream your questions while you mow.
Oh my gosh.
I guess we'll go ahead and play we recorded an ungodly amount of audio.
Oh, God.
I would say, because this is obviously our first investigation, so we thought to ourselves, what better way to do this than to record the entire time we are here.
Every goddamn second.
So, we figured out why it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Real fucking quick.
Since then, that's when we started doing we're just going to do EVP sessions. And we'll review those, and we've even been doing the thing where you like timestamp it and label it at the start of the EVP. We did not do that this time. This was just pure, unadulterated. We recorded almost every
Right.
fucking second.
I filled up a memory card. For Poasttown audio.
I remember
Oh,
the day we were leaving for Poasttown is the day Chris and Haley bought their recorder,
yeah.
and
Yep.
we were just like, we're gonna use this. We bought it. We're gonna use it.
Yeah.
We fucking used it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we use it.
Oh my God.
But in all of that audio, whether it's because of fatigue from listening to for like 10 hours, or if it's just from absolutely nothing happening, I don't know. We only got 2 EVPs out of the entire time we were there. And that's from everything, which just wild. But I'll go ahead and play the first one. So, Haley, you want to tell us what this EVP is?
Sure. So, whenever we were in the bad teacher room and Chris was doing his 2-minute thingy, he was telling it that he was going to take some pictures. So in this one, he says, "Can I take your picture?" And then after he says that, it sounds like it says "okay" a little bit after. So hopefully that is what you hear.
All right, I'll go ahead and play it.
So I'm gonna go around and take pictures from various angles, okay? What do you want to tell me? So I'm gonna go around and take pictures from various angles, okay? What do you want to tell me? So I'm gonna go around and take pictures from various angles, okay? What do you want to tell me?
So, kind of faint, but I believe I hear something in the background. I can't quite make out what it is, but I definitely hear something.
So yeah, I can just about hear a whispered "okay."
Yep.
However, it's so soft and quiet. It could also be just shoes on the floor, like.
Possibly. I feel like with the way, because it's traditional school flooring, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It could be like a squeak, maybe.
Well, the floors were also super dirty and dusty,
That's true too.
kind of like how Waverly was, where there was just like a bit of like dirt everywhere.
True.
They did not have a janitor guy coming in and waxing the floors like you'd find in a normal school.
That's true. Daryl is the only one that does the upkeep there, so. And then we have this one, which at first I didn't know what the sound was. It's going to be kind of loud, and you're going to hear what sounds. At first we thought it sounded like train wheels because there's train tracks nearby. But no train ran by because you could see the lights from where we were. So we were in the gym, which is that's why the acoustics in this is going to be like all over the place, because we're just in an open gymnasium that's located in the basement of the building, which is terrifying.
But the roof went all the way up to the second floor.
Yeah. So, in the background, you can hear footsteps, and I don't know if that's anything, because there obviously we weren't by ourselves, and this is when we separated as groups, so it could be the second group. But the main one is what sounds like wheels, but turns out when we were there, it's actually the sound of those locker doors, like if they were like swinging.
And we actually heard this with our ears.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't just something we caught in post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think all of us heard it together, right? And all of us in the circle or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's that. I'll play that for a couple of times. So yeah, what do we think about that one?
The acoustics are all over the place in that recording.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. There was no good way to just clean it.
And honestly, it sounds way more like muffled and convoluted than what we actually heard with our ears in that recording. Because just there, it sounded like wheels squeaking and then like a slam, almost as if like if you another good like descriptor of what it sounded like if you took a shopping cart and like rolled it down the hall and it clattered into the wall.
Yeah, that, or if you took like a bunch of the like rolly chairs and rolled them across like a hallway.
Yeah.
But at first we were like, oh, well, that's wheels. You know, that's what we thought it was. Yeah. And then we went upstairs and we're like, oh, this is what the lockers sound like when you shake it.
They're like the traditional solid metal lockers, and like the doors are also metal. And we tested it. Like if you open one and let it swing open really hard, and it swings back and hits the locker next to it, the whole door will vibrate and it makes the same exact noise.
We were able to recreate the sound perfectly.
And the other group, just to give like a little more validity to this, the other group was going to the doll room, which has no lockers in it.
Correct.
It's on the opposite side of the building. So even if they had stepped into the odds of them stepping into a room and doing that, even if it had happened, we would not have heard it 2 stories down on the opposite side of the building.
And this was still the guided tour section. We were everybody who was doing the investigation, you know, all the groups were split between the 2 like host investigators. So it's not like people were cut loose at this point.
Yeah, they weren't on their own.
Yeah, the odds of somebody like, you know, fucking around with a locker are even less.
Yep. And the footsteps too, even though like my brain immediately wants to go, oh, they were walking upstairs. We left about the same time, and it was a much longer walk to the gym than the doll room. So
yeah, they should have already been in the doll room.
And I don't know if you would. I don't think you can hear them anywhere, like you said, Abby. They're on the other side of the building, so definitely interesting.
Yeah, and it shouldn't also be forgotten that Daryl lives there with his wife. So
I don't even know what part of the building they live in.
I think it's like on the far back side though, so really we shouldn't have heard them because that space is all blocked off too and not anywhere like on top or to the side of it.
Yeah, I think it's your room area, because all that was on the second floor, like the bad teacher room and all that. I was on the second floor, and then I think they live below that.
Good possibility. And then the last piece of evidence we got is a photo. We have photos.
Woo! It's orb time.
The orb episode.
It's orb o'clock.
Let me pull this over here and open Streamlabs. Boom. And there we go. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah. So there's 3 photos. There's this photo, which is these 3 photos were taken by Haley. So
Back to back.
back to back.
Yeah.
All 3 were in rapid succession, like we said, and they were outside the bad teacher room. So down here is the end of the hallway where the little plus sign is, and then the bad teacher room is facing behind us. So this is the first photo. Not a whole lot going on. This is the second photo. And this is the third photo. So, say what you will about orbs, but if we are to say that orbs are a thing, then there's 3 of them in this photo. Or 4, actually, I guess technically. But discounting those, like, you know, whatever, orbs. If you go to the second photo, that's the outline of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Which is extremely cool. Because there's no, like, the floor, like you said earlier, Chris, has that thick layer of dust on it.
Nothing's gonna reflect off of it.
Mm-mm.
And you can sort of even see that the level of dust on the floor.
Yep.
In that photo.
And we get 3 parts to it too. So like down here where the plus sign is to the left of it, that's like a shoe. Like if you saw the back or the bottom of someone's shoe as they're walking, like their foot's out and up. And then obviously the torso, and it rounds off into shoulders, and then you get a head, like right there. So pretty close to a full body on that one.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's we've surprisingly I've gotten 2 full body apparitions now on camera.
Both by Haley.
Both by
Goes
Haley.
from.
Way to go.
Yeah, and when we say that these are back to back, it is like she stood there, clicked photo, clicked
like,
photo, clicked photo.
Yeah.
So the reflection, if that's like a reflection, it should have shown up in all 3 photos, which is why we take photos like that.
Yep.
And the only spacing that would have been between the photo was long enough for the flash to come on my phone in between. So, yeah, so it's pretty neat.
Definitely an interesting set of photos, and definitely a good. I mean, it's a good catch. I don't think we can be upset about that.
No.
No.
It's not bad.
So as far as being light on this episode is light on evidence, and I again partially
Congratulations, that's the evidence.
yeah, that's the evidence. Partially because I think obviously with our first time doing this, we didn't have all the tools. We didn't have, you know, the benefit of having done this a whole lot, other than we had been to Waverly at this point, and then we came here and did this. And most of our experience comes from just what you see other people do. So, besides that, we also went with other people. So we had to discount a lot of stuff that may have been something, because it could have been, it was either way too obvious that it was just the other group, or it was hard to, you know, say that it wasn't.
Yeah. Because you'd hear in the recording, like, clearly footsteps, and you could be like, oh man, I'm actually getting footsteps, and then you hear talking.
Yeah.
And just like,
Someone's like passing by the classroom out in the hallway.
yeah. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's just 2 people walking past the classroom. Like, there's nothing paranormal about that.
Yep. So I guess we'll finish off our Poasttown coverage and jump into our next subject. How do we feel about Poasttown? Do we say it's haunted, or do we just say it's not? Whoever wants to go first, we'll go around.
Sure, I'll be brave. I'm gonna go with not. The photo is, it's a cool photo. It does kind of look like an apparition. But that's about as much as I can give it. And that's really, that and the lockers are the only two things that happen there, and they are explainable or not compelling enough.
Fair. Haley?
Kind of in the same boat. I'm not saying that the area is not haunted with all the stuff that happened on the land. There's a possibility that it is. I just didn't really have a lot to tell me that it was, though, whenever we were there. So it was a neat place, but I don't know that it's necessarily haunted or not. So
It fits creepy school motif.
it does.
Like, we pulled up to the building, and the first thing Chris said is,
Like,
"Yeah, that's a haunted school." Which is funny. I mean, you can see in the photo, it is like perfect. And on their website, they have a great photo that they took like in the middle of a storm, and so there's like a lightning strike behind it. It's like the perfect photo.
Yeah.
Perfecto.
Abby?
Evidence-wise, there just wasn't a whole lot that went on. I'm not gonna credit the phone app with the principal's office. I'm not gonna credit that as evidence, obviously. That was more so just a freaky coincidence. Just a super personal one to me, and that's, I think, why it scared me so much. The photo's really cool, but like Chris said, besides that, nothing else really happened. So I'm pretty much in the same boat. I don't really know what's going on there. But based on the history of the accidents that have happened in the location and the land being used as a triage center after the train accidents, I think it would be pretty cool to maybe reinvestigate the surrounding land potentially. I just don't know about the school itself.
Cool. Yeah, I'm indifferent. But between this place, I would say that this place is probably as active as Ross, if it is haunted. Because Ross was kind of lacking too, but we could chalk that up to just us not being familiar. And I think when you go to a lot of these places, our opinion, if we do end up reinvestigating Poasttown or we do end up reinvestigating Ross, I mean, we may have a totally different experience to where it's just like, oh, okay, well, maybe. But initial impressions, like you guys said, it's as much as I want it to be haunted, because A, it's a creepy fucking building.
Yeah, it was very creepy.
And B, just for Daryl's sake, I would say that I want it to be haunted, but I don't know. I don't think so. I'm leaning more towards no than yeah. I mean, it didn't make a believer out of me, so I need one of those big old stamps that just says not haunted, inconclusive, or haunted AF. Just slap it on the screen.
We should work on that tonight.
Oh god.
We should work on that.
Does anybody have
We all
questions?
should work on that tonight.
Chris is like, I'm going to bed. Does anybody have questions that's watching the stream about like anything that may have happened, or if you have questions about like the school itself before we switch topics? Don't everyone talk at once.
Cool. Good chat.
Yeah, great chat. Go team.
But
If you think of a question, just throw it in the chat and
yeah, we'll come
try
back
to pay
onto it.
attention. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I've got like 4 chat windows open right now, so we'll get it between Streamlabs and the Twitch stream and the YouTube stream. We're ready. So now we're gonna talk about a couple of pieces of equipment, and we're gonna eventually on YouTube start doing like actual, like, in-depth kind of discussions of each individual piece of equipment that we use and the evidence that we've captured at these places with those pieces of equipment. So stay tuned for that. They're going to be kind of bite-sized. Those might actually make their way over to TikTok instead, which you can find us on TikTok at Spencer County Spooky Squad. So check it'll either be in one of those two places.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna be able to talk for an hour about the 2 pieces of equipment I have.
Are you gonna? Well, give me whatever. What a piece. You start, Chris. What piece of equipment do you want to talk about today?
I have something that everybody should be familiar with after this trying year, and that is the handy dandy laser thermometer. This bad boy can take 2 different types of temperatures. We're talking ambient temperature. You just press the button and it... Oh, actually, we're on laser mode, so we'll go to that. Laser mode, so it fires a laser like you see over there, and it's taking the temperature. Bam. From a distance. Also, you can hit it. Bam. Now it's doing ambient temperature. It is apparently 74 degrees in here, which is bullshit because the thermometer is set to 69 and that's what I'm paying for the electric. So I don't know who I should be mad at, my air conditioner or the thermometer.
Both.
I'll make sure, yeah.
So Chris, what do we use and why do we use this
Like, now he's
digital-
concerned about the
So,
in his house.
You've sent him into dad mode.
So it is a common thing, a common saying, a common experience that when a ghost is present, it gets colder. People feel chills. The temperature drops. So this is something you can use to get. It only takes a half second, not even an instant. Bam, temperature. So you can just, oh, is it in fact getting colder? You walk into a room or you walk on site, you get your baseline temperature, and so as you're walking around and you're like, feel colder as you're going through these places, it's something you can use to dispel dispel evidence or say, wow, this place should be 74 degrees like the rest of this building. Why is it in fact 55 degrees? Oh, that's because I'm being hugged by ghosts. Like, or you can be like, wow, everybody reports chills in this room, and you're using your thermometer. You're like, wow, it is cold in this room. Oh, wait, that's because I found that this corner of the room has an open window, and like, bam, that's because it's 30 degrees over here next to the open window. So
Debunk.
That happened to us
Bam.
at the water plant.
that happened to us at Poasttown, actually, in the principal's room, because
Oh,
we were
yeah.
like, oh my god, it's freezing in here.
The window is
Yeah.
like
Windows wide
shattered.
open.
I
Yeah.
will say we didn't have a thermometer at that time, so
Now we're prepared. We're more prepared.
now
Yeah.
we're prepared. We are more prepared for an open window in the future.
And tell us about your second piece of equipment, Chris. And
My second piece of
end
equipment.
this episode's equipment corner with Chris.
This one has a little bit more uses, surprisingly. And it's just a more practical thing. It's less for ghost hunting and more just, practicality of hunting anything in general, whether it's Sasquatch, Chupacabra, or ghosts. And that's a walkie-talkie. Has multiple settings,
I love
multiple
this.
channels. And if you got somebody that is crafty and handy, like our resident ghost hunter Abby is, you can brand it. It's just good, like, especially when we do ghost hunts, we like to split up. Me and Tom personally do, because I feel like I'm more likely to experience something if I'm alone in the dark versus with 18 people. Like, I'm just gonna miss things that do happen. Like, how am I gonna tell that there's footsteps behind me if there are in fact 5 people behind me?
That's fair.
Like, you're not gonna catch out those footsteps. But if you're by yourself, like me and Tom were in Waverly, and we hit the footsteps behind us, that's something you might catch while you're by yourself. And if you're by yourself and you need to catch up because you've ended up in a horror movie and you need to find your friends before they're all murdered and trapped in a haunted asylum, you have a walkie-talkie.
Which we also didn't have at Waverly.
We did not.
We did not. Or at Poasttown.
But there were also 60 people in the building at Waverly.
Yep.
Yet we still managed to get separated from everyone. And we
And
thought we
lost.
were in a parallel universe.
Like
Terrifying.
she said. Like
Terrifying.
Yep.
she said. We thought we
Story
slipped
to
into
come.
the movie Grave Encounters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like and
Me and
subscribe
Tom were
if you
here
want to
for
hear
it.
that story.
Yeah, we were ready. We'd prepared.
I was ready.
Oh my god.
Which fun? I guess. By the way, spoiler alert for the next episode. We are going to be talking about Waverly.
Woohoo!
The place that started it all.
Which we got a lot of stuff to talk about for Waverly, so that was that'll be a good one, definitely. That'll be on August the 1st. That is 2 weeks from today. So yeah, I guess that'll end the Equipment Corner with Chris segment for today.
Tune in next time
Yeah.
for more riveting equipment corners.
Do we want to talk about the place where we're going next? I'll leave that up to everyone here to decide.
So next week we're talking about Waverly.
Mm-hmm.
We will not have been to this place yet. So I propose to the group that we leave our viewers with a cliffhanger. Keep them coming back for more so they can find out our next location next week.
Oh, you know what
Or
we could
2
do?
weeks from now.
Okay.
Over the course of 2 weeks, we could do teasers, and we'll post teasers on
Whoever can
Instagram,
guess it.
and whoever can
Yeah.
guess it, and whoever guesses
Okay.
it, we'll send them a stick. We'll give them a decal. Look at that!
Okay.
That's actually not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Boom! Look at
Do
that!
that.
Big brain.
Big brain mode.
But no. Okay, go over to our Instagram after a little bit after this, and we will have instructions on how to do that. So.
Yep, for sure. And then I guess we can just end by talking about all of our normal stuff. You can find us and support the squad over there. As if you're watching this on YouTube, there's going to be a link on the YouTube channel for our link tree that has all of our places you can find our spooky content. We live stream every other Sunday on here on YouTube. We're also going to be doing that over on Twitch now. So you can find us at twitch.tv/Spencer County Spooky Squad. You can also stay subscribed to our YouTube channel for spooky videos and content, which we're going to get better at posting. That is a thing that I will do, because that is my responsibility to do, because I have most of the video to edit. So that's on me. Is the reason there's not been much content posted there. Obviously, like Haley mentioned, over on our Instagram is where you can find our most relevant and up-to-date information. We are posting at least a story every few days or so. And then we also have a coffee, or Ko-fi, which is where you can, if you would be obliged, if you wanted to give us a donation or a tip for as low as the cost of a cup of coffee or as low as $1. Every little bit helps. For your first for your first donation, we will also send you a decal. Abby, do you have one of our decals handy that you can show them?
I think I do. Let me look.
But
Let's quit our day jobs.
Yes, help us.
Please.
would absolutely love to do this as a job. That'd be tight.
This is the decals. It's just our logo.
But they can go on your MacBook. They can go on your computer. They can go on your car.
They are weather resistant, so they can go on your car, yeah. Your windows.
So yeah, if you support us on coffee with any amount, we will send you. We'll reach out to you and get some information. And we'll send you a sticker /decal. And your support means everything to us. It helps out a lot. You can also subscribe to us on Twitch. Same thing will apply there. and you can also donate through our Twitch page as well. As far as that goes, I don't.
And make sure to ring that bell too.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta.
You hit the like and subscribe, but ring that bell because every now and again we get a frog in our boot and we like stream a spooky video game. So
That's true. Yeah, we have done that or like a single time, but we may end up doing that a little more. And you can see us get terrified in real time.
Yep.
It's happened a few times. But with that, we will keep you guys updated on social media, and until next time.
Are we doing it?
I think we'll do it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Stay spooky!
not gonna lie, I forgot what we were doing. Thank God you guys didn't go right into it. It took me that long.
Oh god. Oh Lord. We didn't, for some reason, we didn't say the word juicy. Did not make it into the stream.
Not today.
Well, now it has.
You're right, it has, but oh man, that was definitely a Poasttown episode.
A little bit, yeah.
Is the stream over?
No, but still, the outro.
Oh.
We're in the outro.
Oh, okay. It just ended on my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
I need. Now we got to figure out how to tease the upcoming place.
So we could do
some.
Oh my God, Jussie did make it into the stream. I unmuted just in time